in the town of Puckweudgi.
Oh,
Typically, this sleepy, resting town that typically resides people that have been here way too long, or people that are seeking a more quiet farming life, has turned into a bustling center of trade and activity, as being a central hub between the city of Evimeria, the Dust Vessel, and one of the best staging areas between the various points that are currently besieging your land. It's been a fair number of months, about 3, 4, somewhere around there. It's hard to keep track since you have heard and have known of the siege from the supposed Rack Legion's forces, led by the Dream Crusher.
By who?
The Dream Crusher. If you want his
Trivi is his other name.
Yeah,
what was the name of the legions again?
Rack, as in W-R-A-A-K.
Nice.
One of the reasons for their fast advance is that, other than the somewhat questionable monstrosities, demon spawn or otherwise, that seem to be coming from the fortress, they seem to be able to move with much ease as they don't have a central base.
Well, great. That's not going to help me socially.
Other than the central fortress that tends to move with the Dream Crusher. That mobile fortress has been the main reason why he's been able to assault quickly any fortifications, having another fortification that was able to be at that location. Much harder to attack a moving castle, let's put it that way, or defend against it. Since then, since 3 months ago and onwards, has become more and more of a hassle for you and Hogswallow. Both the citizens and those that aren't normally present in Hogswallow are finding themselves caught up in the, quote, war effort and the difficulties of such. Even with supposed news of the front lines being handled by the King Canias Keeper, taking the leading front, along with the mysterious heroes that have been called forth, that have been sent to maintain the different shrine points, known to each of you as the Guardians, the Living Fire, Wood Essence, and Sentient Flow. Those locations representing places of power, told in tales to you as youth and that you tell to the youth now, has been a symbol of the protection and contract that you have made to protect the Lady of Mira, which the land is named after. Going from there, we come back to Hogswallow, early in the morning, midweek. Somewhat of a balmy season, late summer season, and at this time, we find each of you having to deal with the busybody work of travelers and merchants and military personnel running in and through and stationed at Hogswallow. The normal residents have gathered together to get a bit of respite in one of the local taverns, known as and yes, the trope is there, you're starting off in a tavern, which I forgot to write down because it was in my phone, which I believe was called
Broken Spirit.
The Broken Spirit, yes.
Inspiration.
Vulgar Sprite?
Okay, alright, I'll take it.
No.
Did you say the Vulgar Sprite?
Oh man, the Vulgar Sprite. That's the bar down the street. The Broken Spirit is our inn of choice.
So, the Broken Spirit Tavern is where you currently reside. The standard special is the Roasted Youth, served with your choice of Broken Spirits or Drowning Sorrows ale. And offered as well is the dessert of the month, the unreciprocated Orange Crush. So, this is where you find yourselves early this summer day, and find yourselves conversing amongst each other.
Okay.
You each know each other from base interactions and just getting to know your fellow neighbor. You've known each other for a fair number of years, heard stories of each other, shared a drink, played a card game before, maybe lost a bet or two to some rigged dice, and have gone to know each other quite well. Somewhat as dependable friends. Even though each of you tend to have your own duties and activities that you tend to hang out throughout the week. However, meeting a common soul that has had their life kind of turned upside down by the excitement and the worry, you find solace in the fact that each of you is there sharing a table this fine morning. If you'd like to each introduce your characters for those that are viewing. And we want to start with
Birthday boy.
Austin.
Alagar is a tall elf dressed in animal hides and lots of leaves attached to his clothes. The leaves, these leaves have been on him long enough that they're all dead, so he's got kind of an autumn look to him. His skin is a dusky brown color, and he has green tattoos all across his body. And he has white dreadlocks going down his back. Doesn't wear shoes normally. He made all his clothes himself, so they're all sort of tied together with vines and other things. Kind of shuffles when he walks because of the, it sounds like you're walking through a pile of leaves whenever he moves around. His name is Alagar. Alagar Ophandris.
Okay.
The crazy, well, some say crazy, other ones who have remembered his predictions and realize they always come true are a little more optimistic about it. But yeah, the old elf who's lived in the jungle of seasons for hundreds of years, and lots of stories surround him. Probably only about half of them are true.
Okay, going from there. Rich, if you'd like to introduce your character.
Yeah, so Beltryn, the stout halfling, he's you can tell he's got some traces of dwarf blood. He's a stockier halfling, but he's definitely a halfling. He's very grumpy looking and seems to be always sunburnt since the changes with the war. He now fishes on either the coast or the river rather than going out on boats, and so is just always grumpy and sunburnt.
He never tans, he just always sunburns.
Yeah, exactly. Just always redder
Is he
and
a
redder.
redhead?
And yeah,
Is he this guy? Is he me?
we could go with that. Yeah, I mean,
He's a red-headed dwarf. Understood. Or
Yeah,
halfling.
yeah.
This is my life, so.
Yeah, he's a respected. He's one of the main fishermen of the village. He's very skilled with his craft, but isn't happy about that. He wishes he could be
He's
at
really
sea
good.
like he did when
He's
he
really
was
good
going
at it,
out.
but not happy about it. That's awesome.
Okay. Let's go from there. I believe I have Aaron next on my screen. Okay. Aaron.
Are we going with
Arlen has-
deputy, or has he gotten up to sheriff? Is he more like lower level deputy?
You're actually the deputy
Okay.
by volunteer, but there is no sheriff because he left, or they haven't heard from him for a while. So they've kind of haven't decided whether or not to promote you or not yet. That's what you are. So most people refer to you as sheriff.
It's awkward.
Those that don't like you refer to you as
Nice.
deputy.
So yeah,
Those that really don't like you just call you, you're just a civil servant. You ain't got no real power. You're just
I
representing the
pay your
boss.
salary. Just a bunch
Underappreciated.
All right. Well, in that case, deputy and/or acting sheriff Alexander, which everyone would just call Sandy. He's a tall, lanky half-elf, thin, ropey guy who
But Sandy
everyone
is
calls
his
him
nickname.
Sandy. He's fairly like weather-worn, and he has gotten a tan. He is rather tan half-elf. and he's got a light sandy, kind of blondish hair that he keeps relatively short. Normally just walks around town with a vest and a shirt, nothing too armored up, and yeah, tries to keep everyone in town from each other's throats, but doesn't like to work too hard if he can avoid it. So likes to enjoy breakfast with his buddies at the Broken Spirits here. So.
Okay.
It's good to see y'all.
Going from there, we're with Scott now.
I'm Puckweudgi. As I stand at the end of the table, Puckweudgi of Kosh. Just because somebody always wants to know about you, I just picked a random town I heard about to say I'm from, so people would quit asking. As I stand at the end of the table, emptying my pockets to see how many coins I have in my possession, and drinking my breakfast, I'm a tiefling. It's obvious. I'm 6 foot tall. I could either be roustabout loading at the loading docks, professional wrestler, or in this case, I'm a mercenary, thick with stupid broad shoulders. Not your typical tiefling. I could be mistaken for an orc, except for my red-tinged skin and my horns. I'm just thick and blocky, and been doing whatever rough job they'll let me do around here, if they'll tolerate me, until my next job comes along. Supplementing my income by hunting and lifting heavy objects, and keeping in the shadows.
Gambles with people that don't know better.
I do have a set of dice.
So noted. Okay.
Made them myself.
As he's patting down his pockets, looking for change, Alexander sees him. He looks up and goes, "Come on, Puck, have a seat. Have a seat. I'll roll you for breakfast. How about that? We'll see who."
Fair enough. Your dice are mine.
Yours, of course. And, so he loses. He loses the roll for breakfast like he always does, and Sandy just kind of smirks and buys him breakfast as usual. It's the only thing Sandy gambles with him for is buying breakfast. Have a seat, Puck. Come on.
As Alagar has a seat, he says, "Hey, did they ever start serving mead here? I can't remember if it's been 12 or 14 years since I came here last."
Did you say?
You mean that fermented BP they talk about all the time? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, man. It's not. I don't like the other stuff you guys drink. It tastes like water from a ditch.
Well, I'm sure we could rustle up some mead.
I mean, no offense though.
High praise.
You
should tell the bartender.
I don't know if you. I just don't like it. It's not for me. But if you have any mead, that's the really good stuff.
Better than that.
That's when
It's better than the stuff the young people drink, which tastes like horse pee with a rusty nail in it.
I'm pretty sure it's bee vomit there, Puck. I don't think it's BP. They puke it back up, I'm fairly certain.
Oh.
That's when a mug slams down on your table as Sally, the owner of the establishment, named Sadly Sally.
Or Sally.
Hello, Sally.
Sally slams down the tankard and says, "Well, this place is very appropriate for you guys. That's why we named it as such. Now, may I take your order before you make fun of my establishment much further?"
Sally, now come on. You know we love it here.
You have the best meals in
We
town.
love you.
As Beltryn mumbles under his breath, "The only meals in town."
I was leaving that unsaid. I sleep here sometimes, so.
Yeah, speaking of which, you left drool stains again. You need to work on that.
It's
No,
what I
then.
do.
Just do the breakfast special all around, Sal.
Why can't you get
Do
a
you have any
normal job?
mead?
Okay, just the breakfast. We
Cheers,
don't have any
young
meat.
lady.
We have. Do you want another drowning sorrow?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I'll have one just for the name.
Right. We'll get you another drowning sorrow. Your standard. And we have a new shipment of meat coming in, so we've made a new specialty today called the uplifting
Ooh,
hog.
damn. That does sound fancy. That sounds more like a...
It
Yeah,
does.
I didn't name it. It's the new
Impressive.
chef in the area, and he wanted to work here. He's traveling, but we'll see how well he does. It's his first day, so tell me how you think of his food. As part of that, I'll allow you guys to eat it for free.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Oh,
It's
so
pork.
there's
It's
the
love.
Beltryn's over here in this chair. I think you overlooked him. We want 4 breakfast specials. It looked like they were out of high chairs. We're in the corner. I think there's more halflings in town today. So if one of those comes free, could you bring it over for him?
Like
Halflings
glare
make
at
me
you.
nervous. I'm always afraid I'll step on them.
you swear you hear a breaking noise? You're not sure what it was.
I punch him in the shoulder and like leaves fall off.
Oh, hey,
And dirt.
I'm sorry. I'm being offensive again.
Everybody make a
Sometimes I'm offensive. I wish people would just tell me.
everybody make a perception check really quick. And she's like, understood. And she takes the order and she walks off.
Now, you said I had
That's very good for a first
advantage
call
on
meeting.
perception? Because
I rolled a 4, so I don't think anything I could add to that would help.
Dustin,
25 for Alagar.
I'm not going to bother competing with that, although I did pretty well.
Got 10 here.
I don't have anything to add to that, so.
My fine deputy instinct. So, you said I had advantage on perception checks, right? Dustin?
Yep, that is your background as the guard sheriff thing.
I'll raise my mug to her as she leaves. I may complain about it, but as long as it's thick enough to chew, I won't stop drinking it.
Look. I always got to rally
She shakes her
Sally up.
head
You know
and
she's
walks
going to
off.
spit in your food, right? I mean, I don't think she likes you too well to
protein.
That's
begin
what he
with.
wants.
The spice of life. She knows I got an
I
eye
think
on
that's
her.
part of it.
So,
I think she thrives on my insults.
so what were your perception checks?
25.
25? Wow.
Or
22.
10, 4, 22. So, as you guys are having this conversation, let's see, what are you guys doing? I just wrote it down. Alagar and Alexander both kind of overhear some of the soldiers and merchants talking about how there's been a lot of movement from the Bay of Shades recently, and supposed creatures being seen in the Jungle of Seasons. This hasn't really occurred recently. Normally, it's really hard for anything, even the forces of the Rack Legion, to get through the Bay of Shades, and the jungle is hard to traverse unless you're a druid or know somebody that is from there that often takes that path. Typically, a guide is needed. Locals have gotten used to it, but still, it would be hard for an assaulting force to kind of get through those natural barriers. So, you almost pay it no mind. But it is strange that they've heard of these rumors just recently, and how that there is a troop of scouts that have gone missing recently in both of those areas. But don't pay it much mind. Either way, they start heading out after having gone their meals, tears streaming down their face, having gotten the Drowning Sorrows Ale today.
Strong stuff.
And cran.
good, dark,
Um,
and thick enough to chew.
Just like how I like my coffee.
okay.
Stick
So
it
going
out.
from there,
Still gotta walk the floor.
the other thing with that 25
There are noble
is you
characters.
identify
sir.
what the breaking sound was, as you see half of a piece of like maybe an 1/8 inch of the pencil tip broken and on the ground, rolling around still. She was taking your order with a pencil.
So she seems very distraught or something.
Well, quill. Maybe
What's
didn't
your
take too
opinion
kindly to the comments. But But moving from there, you guys are, after a while, brought your meal. There seems to be a very hearty, what looks like a steak, but round like a ham in front of you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say I don't eat meat. Do you have any vegetables or fruit or anything?
I tell you what, I'll take your meat and trade you for everything else on my plate.
So you
Is
just
there
give
anything
him,
else on his plate?
Some hash.
yeah. There is some vegetables and some green leaf food and.
Okay, in that case, I'm just like, hey, Puckweudgi,
salad.
I'll trade you my steak thingy for all of your vegetables.
Deal, son.
Sandy leans
guys
his plate over
trade?
and scrapes the vegetables onto Aladar's plate as well.
Oh, thank you very
He's
much,
just shaking
there,
his head.
Sandy. That's
He's
very
like,
generous of
Vegetables for breakfast, man. That ain't right. I'm sorry. You just, you know.
It
I
ain't
get
right.
it.
Sandy, you are an epic goddess.
Well,
I'm just saying that
that
because you're
kinda sweet
feeding me.
talk will get you everywhere in life.
Whatever.
Am I mixing my Sandy's?
Maybe you guys can do some.
Sally, 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 you're an epic
No, you
goddess.
can't take it back now, Puck. I'm sorry.
Pays you no mind. And
But wear it with pride, sir. Wear it with pride.
But
Maybe it was subliminal. I mean, you did buy my breakfast.
oh dear.
Not
going from there,
subliminal. Some
you
word.
continue with your morning quote ritual habit of gathering together, talking about various things, the jungle, plant life, being weird and strange again, and seeing stars and visions from how the fish aren't biting like they used to, and how the aliens don't know how to tie a tackle on a ship. To wondering when a certain deputy is ever going to get promoted or just recognized for his achievements, so he could lay back and assign the work to somebody
That's
else.
the life. That's
And then
living
our
the dream.
our vagabond mercenary friend who's just looking for a job that's worth doing.
As we're eating breakfast, Sandy pulls out a little notebook.
There's plenty of business
He pulls
around.
out a little notebook out of his vest,
Good.
sets it down, and starts flipping through the pages. He's like, "All right, Aladar, got any predictions today? You're kind of due for one."
Oh yeah, sure. I got plenty of predictions. I mean, I passed an alleyway where in 5 years some guy's gonna get his throat cut.
5 years.
So
5
that's
years
kind
to
of
the day.
What's his name? In case it's me.
I'm not sure. I know it's gonna be a Wednesday, like today. But I'm not sure if it's exactly. I can't remember if 5 years will be a Wednesday still on this day. The weeks kind of confuse me.
Holy cow, Aladar, that might be the most useful prediction you ever made. I mean, I was pretty impressed when that giant pumpkin grew as big as you said it was gonna on the corner outside of town. That was really cool. But shoot,
Oh yeah, do
That's
you know
what's
how many
useful.
pounds that
I
was
ended
again?
up being it just tipped over 50. It was 51.
I think every farmer in our area trying to get some
29, so
seed
2
started for
pounds
that.
isn't too bad.
Yeah,
That was pretty
yeah, no,
close.
It was really good. Now, yeah, he's got like all his
It's really gonna bump up the pumpkin competition next year.
He's got all of the predictions like meticulously listed over the last like 7 years that they've been associating with each other. And
Oh, don't bother entering that pumpkin contest. You're not going to win it.
I'm not a farmer. I'll probably end up toasting them and eating them if things get much worse. Just waiting for a mercenary band to come through that I know, so I don't have to convince them to take me along.
I mean,
Well, you'll get your chance soon enough to flex your muscles. Don't worry.
Reg,
Hopefully it's not pulling a cart.
you're
We
doing
all
fine.
will.
Beltryn,
Beltryn.
Beltryn.
how the biting, Bell?
Well, getting worse every day, the usual. These kids, the village sends to learn from me, don't know the end of a fishing pole from a net.
It's odd. I mean, what are parents?
If you get any crappie, I'm going to.
I blame the schools. You know, they're not beating them like they used to. and if you don't whip them, I mean, they're not going to learn nothing.
Well, you're the deputy. Do something about it.
I don't get to.
It's all about
I don't get
focus.
to set curriculum.
It definitely refocuses them.
I mean, if one of them steals some of your nets or steals a fish, I can help you out, but I can't really just go around whipping them for fun,
Oh, don't worry. The not this teacher, but
Is that a
and not the
thing?
next
Yeah.
one, and not the next one, but
Right.
the one after that. He's gonna be really good for all the
It's
kids.
good to hear. Hope for the future.
What's his name? Ichabod?
That's him.
It's around this point, as you guys are eating, Sally comes back out and looks outside the window and goes, "What on earth is going on out there?" So when your attention is drawn to the window.
I get out. Look.
They got glasses in
You
this
notice
place?
that there's a odd orange
Fancy.
glow coming from the south.
Orange glow.
That's weird. The sun doesn't raise from the south. Why is it orange?
Hey, Puck, can you give me a boost?
Yep. Is what I do. Step on this crook. Don't be afraid, this python don't bite.
Boy, seeing an ominous glow, Sandy
Beltryn.
will reluctantly stand up and start walking towards her. And I swear, if Farmer Maggot is burning up his crop again, and he starts sauntering. I have told him that he can't just burn stuff on the edge of town.
Hey, let's go out there and stand downwind.
Looking out the window, Beltryn, since you were given the boosty, I'll say that you saw this first. You look out, and where there's familiar hills and jungle life, and then a few towns and various tents that have been set up around the village, expanding its borders, you notice that there seems to be a large bonfire of some kind, and there seems to be, a festival of some kind going on where people are running around and screaming and making silly noises, and people in costumes. When it dawns on you, those costumes look really real. Those people look like they're real screaming. Wait a minute.
Does that trigger any sense in me being a mercenary?
Probably gives you some nostalgia and makes you go placid for a moment.
All the days when I used to pillage.
Good times, good times.
Oh man, if this fire gets out of hand, it could catch to the forest. I gotta go, you guys. Do you want...
Whoa, hold on, Lewis. Help me out here.
You're the fire marshal too, right? In addition to deputy.
I got a full
I think
water if
y'all
that
should be
helps.
Deputized. You're gonna help me kill these things. Come on, help me out here. It's just-
Let me grab my shield.
Yeah, I
It's
grabbed a
stubby.
pitchfork on my way out.
Okay.
I appreciate the
Head
end.
down.
It's pointy now.
Good sword.
I pull out like a huge two-handed handle with about 18 inches of blade, and it's been reshaped to have
Yeah,
a
we've
point
never
on
actually
it.
seen you draw it before, so we're all like, what?
It's a broken sword that I reshaped. That's about as
What
big as a
happened to the
long
rest
knife.
of it?
Okay.
That's in there. I shake the scabbard. You can hear something rattling around in there. I saved it.
Okay. As you guys start to proceed to move south out of the town,
All
leaving
there.
the tavern and your food behind, and he and Sally say, "Now you come back and finish this food when you're done."
I didn't leave
Priority
any
number one,
food.
Sally.
Thank you,
I'm
Sally. You're still
carrying
my
my-
favorite.
I'm still carrying the steak, like just
Okay.
as they run out.
Only thing I took with me is the bone. That was all that was left. I'm sucking on that.
She realizes that
No
you guys
puns.
have absconded with it, and then realizes, "I need those
Yep,
dishes
yeah,
back."
We'll get 'em to you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's my good woodware.
It's a shield now.
Thus, where
For me.
your wooden shield from your inventory came from.
Buckler.
For Beltryn, it's a shield.
Big for
My
me.
buckler.
So noted from that. That's what you have. And as you proceed down, things are kind of chaos. There are a few troops stationed here, and you see them engaged in fighting all around. There seems to be lizard-like entities that kind of gnarled, kind of like a mixture between a goblin and a lizard that seem to be attacking you. And you recognize them from the stories that these seem to be the lower minions of the Dream Crusher's forces. Strange to see them this far north and in the plains. You thought that they would be closer to the front lines. You had no idea why you would be being attacked. It's not. It's about that time. Can I have? Let's have Sandy make his perception check.
Oh, buddy. I used my good one earlier, so.
Probably ahead of everybody because I have a speed of 35 feet. Just so you know.
Yep.
14 total. Yep.
With advantage?
I didn't roll super
Okay.
great.
Noted. Looking around, you notice that there's a few individuals that look like they're commanding. It's hard to tell which one is the big boss of it all, but you can do that. Don't know why I've slipped into that accent now.
Yeah.
Sally's ruined
I got
me.
contagious accents kind of on lock. It's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I understand. It's the constant sorrow.
It just goes with the ale so well. So.
I think it affects your taste buds and your
So are
vocal
they like-
cords.
Are they like lizard folk? Are they like
Yeah,
tiny
might be
lizard
it.
folk, or are they like kobold-looking things, or?
Yeah, how big are they?
They look like medium-sized creatures, about the same size as the rest of you.
Let's call them lizard folk, I guess. We can figure out more. We can call them something different later. All right, so they're attacking folk, yeah.
Definitely attacking folk, and they seem to be raiding and pillaging the area for the most part. They're dragging off people as
Can't have
well,
none of that. Come on, come on, boss.
and
I see a first person, they're dragging somebody. I'm picking the farthest dragger.
Beltryn, you do notice that some of the kids that you've been teaching fishing are being attacked by some of them as well, and some of them are being dragged off. They're trying
Beltryn's
to put up
like,
the fight.
excellent.
Alagar,
Let them die.
Especially you,
Alagar,
Timmy.
you do notice that the forest isn't on fire, but that is where they're dragging them to, the jungle. Sandy or Alexander, you already noticed them commanding and kind of lighting tents on fire, destroying merchandise or whatever they can't quickly take or stuff in a cart. Puck, you will notice that they seem to be pouring some kind of liquid around the area.
Let's
Oh,
run
crap.
up. Come on, let's go. And we'll try and get them kids first.
So what would you guys
Where's the
like to do?
commander?
Oh,
Surging
hey,
forward.
my jungle. I'm running.
I'm recklessly
I run
surging
up and
forward,
grab my
trying to get. Oh, bonus action with a mighty yell. I'm gonna just try to break their focus and have them look at me as I rush forward.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Should we roll initiative?
No.
It's a power. 15.
Oh, it's a power? What is it? What is
Oh, what is it called?
Trying to do?
Horrible holler.
No, it's
No, I checked. It's in the book.
no. I get 3 times my normal
Oh,
voice.
thaumaturgy.
I can throw my voice. And
Thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
Thaumaturgy?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
That would be
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's a situation.
The reason I
Thaumaturgy,
took,
the cantrip,
reason I
you can
took it
definitely do
was
that.
to. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, no problem. But
So-
you yell at them. What do you yell? With
I'm
the
shaking the
15?
leaves off the trees.
What are you yelling?
Okay.
I say, "Come at me!" and I rush into the middle of them.
Okay. So noted. You start basically making them afraid and doing stuff that way. Who would like to go next?
Well, I mean,
Did you say we spotted like leader-looking ones, or
True, you did.
we did? Okay. I'll probably start cocking my harpoon gun
Okay.
and aiming them at the taller ones. I guess whatever I can.
More decorated ones.
I
Yeah.
actually have a broken sword, but I got this freaking vicious handle. It's probably more dangerous than the dagger.
Are you going to make an attack on them then?
Yes, I am. I'm gonna pick the first one.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Beltran.
I'm getting carried
How,
away.
am I like within range? Like, I mean,
Yes, I will say that you're within range of any of the ones that you want to get to.
okay, yeah.
Before he does that, I'm seeing him running into my jungle, and I'm like, oh no, my jungle! And I slam my pitchfork on the ground, and vines are gonna shoot up and entangle them.
good one.
I
Holy crap!
centered on one of the leaders.
What is
This guy does more than
the saving
Puckweudgi
throw on
groceries.
that?
15.
15 deck save, right?
Strength save.
Matter when I rolled that low. Yeah, so
Sorry,
that fails.
allergies.
So, for narrative's sake, we will say that you don't just affect the one, you'll affect the group. So as they're starting to retreat with several of the villagers, you stop them by raising up all these vines in the forest, and it starts grabbing them from the side and pulling them to the trees, and you just see them like yelling, and they start panicking. They drop the villagers that they're dragging off, or the merchants. They start scrambling back. But the lizard folk goblinoid creatures are just like trying to claw at the jungle vines that have now grasped them, so they are now entangled. Do they take any damage from that?
Nope, just all in a 20-foot square are restrained.
Okay, so they're all restrained now. So you do that. You want to take a shot with your harpoon gun?
So I'm just aiming at the most decorated one, and just hear me mutter, just not in hog wallow. And then I'll load up my harpoon and just
Go ahead and roll advantage because
That is a gizmo.
7 to hit.
I really got to work on my yells.
Roll
Battle cries. It's been a while.
so it's plus.
Yeah, roll one more time.
If I don't know what I'm going to yell, it's Hackapale is my fail save.
Yeah, 20 for my hit roll.
That definitely
20
hits.
hit. Sweet.
Sweet. And then 8 damage.
Plus your sneak attack.
Oh, yeah.
Which is I think 3d6.
Infernal for hack 'em down. But back in the day, Finnish were hellish.
6.
Finns on horseback.
4, and 2. So 12. So 8 plus 12. So 20 damage.
Nice.
Nice. So as your harpoon sticks in, pierces through one of the little ones, and then he goes flying off, plucked from his standing spot, and then he goes slamming into one of the leaders as you pin cushion them. And then that leader is just holding his side. He's like, oh! And starts yelling something, and you see them kind of grabbing what they can and then just trying to run into the forest and just abandoning whatever they can. Some of the lizard folk goblins are trying to hack the vines and get the others free so that they can all retreat into the forest now. With that, also, what are you doing, Sandy, during this?
He'll be kind of running up towards any of the fires that are immediately adjacent, starting to snuff them out as much as he can with control flames, just snuffing the ones that look critical. And if there are any people being drugged like out of the town, he'll kind of use control flame to burst fire in front of them to stop them from escaping with people.
Roll an Arcana check.
So 12.
Okay.
If I can add my...
Noted. So you start, you're able to snuff out a few of the fires, or at least calm them down and keep them to where they're just ember glowing and kind of burning across it rather than raging. In the couple of areas where you notice where people are starting to get drugged out or otherwise, you try to make the flames pick up and lick them. It doesn't seem to affect them retreating as much, as they just kind of ignore the flame and keep going, but you do manage to quell the fires.
Oh, that doesn't bode well. Those are, I wonder if they're newts.
Maybe. They like that fire.
Little
I
buggers.
want to move towards the ones pouring the liquid out on the ground and try and stop that nonsense. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't like it.
At this moment, it seems like they're in retreat from what you did to that leader. What would you guys like to do for this round?
I'm trying to make contact.
Are they still restrained from the vines?
There is a fair number of them still restrained, but they are in the middle of getting them unrestrained. They're getting help
What's
from
the-
others.
Dash is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make contact as fast as I can.
Okay, you don't need a dash to get up to them to any of them. You can just run at whatever's nearby, whether that's the ones that are in the vines, some of them that are still pillaging, or the ones pouring that liquid around.
I'm mainly after the ones trying to abduct people first, but
Okay, you can run
You
up to
know.
them without having to spend your action to dash, as you like. What would you like
Okay.
to do when you get to them?
I'm gonna attack them. I'm gonna bring them.
Okay. Make your series of attacks, and then tell me the damage. While you're rolling that, what would the others like to do?
So I'm gonna, like, I glance around to make sure no one's watching me do this, but I'm gonna, like, check on the fishing boys that work for me.
Okay.
I don't want anyone to know that I'm checking on them, but I stealthily,
Roll a
like,
stealth check for me.
I
Really
don't know
quick.
how.
And everybody else, tell me
And
what
then-
your passive
I know
perceptions
you're
are.
going
Just tell me
to-
if you succeed in seeing him.
I only got a 10.
17 is my passive perception.
17 for my stealth.
Ever vigilant Alagar.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
13 perception.
okay, so the only one that notices you is possibly the druid, but you're pretty sure nobody's noticed you. So, go ahead and check on the boys. What would you? They seem to be among the ones that were being dragged off.
Are they still getting dragged? Sorry, just to make sure. Are they still getting
Yeah.
dragged off, or are, like, I know some of them dropped their captives, but
Right. Well, what I mean by that is that some of the boys are still captive and being dragged away, even though
okay.
some they've broken loose. There's no longer the attempts to grab more, but what they do have and what they've let go is taken care of. But there is some of the boys that are still captured, among other things, that are being dragged off.
so yeah, I kind of do like a quick head count and realize some aren't there, and so then I'll start running after the, like, I guess, yeah, like cocking my harpoon gun again, getting ready for
Okay.
another
Do you want
shot.
to take the attack, or are you just trying to overtake them and block their path? What is your intent here?
Yeah, if I see ones like carrying the boys, I know I'll aim for those first, like, to try and take them out as they go.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Perception?
Yep.
8.
You're not sure. You can't tell among all the things going on, but you're pretty sure that where they're headed and stuff that way.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I'll just basically, like, in the moment, just, maybe that's one of them, and take a shot at kind of, the first one I see.
First one that you see that's carrying some person.
Yeah.
Make an attack on them.
24.
We'll have sneak attack on this. That does
Oh,
hit.
that? Okay.
Actually, don't even worry about rolling for damage. If you have sneak attack, and given what you did for damage last time, I don't think you're going to run into an issue with taking this thing out. So, just boom, toosh. Actually, no. Roll for damage. Let's see how many you take out.
Okay.
Got a bunch
Yeah,
on
he's
us.
doing 80 thing. So it's all through their hit points.
Oh, nice. Okay. So 11 for the base, and then you said sneak as well?
Yes.
Okay. 11, 16, 17, 18. Ooh, not the best sneak attack, but
Well, like
So, what's the total? 29?
18 total.
18 total. Okay.
Yeah.
You do manage to take out, let's see, that is... You take out 3 of them.
with one bolt?
Yeah, so one harpoon stabs through the first guy and he drops his captive. As he gets lunged forward with that, just flying through the air. He stabs into the next guy who tumbles into the next one. That tumbling just causes them to take damage, and the last one is like buried under the 2 dead bodies of the others trying to scrabble and get out. However, the
Are
captives
these-
that they were dragging behind them in nets and with ropes were able to free themselves and start running away.
Yeah. Are these? I just realized. Are these harpoons with like cords on them, or can I choose to have them be like, because you don't just like shoot a fish with like a arrow. You like
Line on
hook
it,
to it. Can I do that, or is it just a crossbow basically? Like,
Reel it in.
I will say you can always do that with one of your shots.
okay, like choose to do that kind. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. It will
these
use your
would be, like,
reaction to
bolt.
do, and it's not automatic unless you're a size larger than your opponent.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what I'll say.
Cool.
Okay. So going from there, our druid friend and our sheriff friend left.
Can I get within 30 feet of one of them that's fleeing?
Yes, very easily.
All right, I'm gonna get up and just be like, "Oh no,
My
you're not
damage,
going anywhere."
my
And then I, my hand flashes and a a thorny whip blasts out of the dirt and just and tries to whip on and grab onto him.
Okay.
So that's a spell attack.
Okay.
Is
this a leader that you're going for, or a just any random one, or a captive holder?
They're restrained by my entangle right now, so I'm hoping that Puck will take care of them. So I'm just going to try and stop the one of them who's still running away, holding a captive. Yeah, that's really high. That's a 25 to hit.
That definitely hits. Roll damage.
6 points of piercing damage from the thorns, and I pull him 10 feet closer to me.
Okay, so as he starts running, he's still running, keeps his eyes closed, looks down, and notices he's going backwards.
Yeah, I'm just kind of going like
this.
I'm just kind of going like this with my finger, and the vine is reeling in from the ground.
It miraculously is still alive. But, so it's just pulling against these restraints, and it's like being slawed off, like rendering meat off of a body. So, but as it's running against it.
Alright, I'll move up right next to him and just be like, slow your roll, man. And I'm just there in case he tries to run away, basically.
Okay. He will if you want to take an opportunity attack on him.
Okay. I'll whack him with my pitchfork.
Okay.
That's my third 18 in a row today.
Doesn't matter. You hit. He's dead.
Nice.
He had 1 HP, so it's not gonna matter.
I do have a 1d6 -1 to my damage, though. So should I roll it?
Sure.
Oh no, it was a 6, so 5.
Mighty
Nice roll.
So he still tries to run away, and I just with my pitchfork.
He still runs for a little bit, like in a weird flailing Attack on Titan movement. Anyways.
To his captive, I'll just be like, you can go now.
The woman's just like aghast at what you did and watching it, and just like almost pukes, and she's like, I'm gonna be a vegetarian, and starts running off.
That's always the smarter option.
Sustainable, man.
From there, we're to you, Sheriff. Do nothing.
He's gonna see, I guess, one of the ones that are like close to getting like away, with a captive. One that looks like it's maybe towards the edge, and he's just gonna look towards him and go, freeze, and fire off a ray of frost at him, trying to slow him down. Natural 18. So.
Roll the attack. Natural 18.
You're not a paladin, are you, Sandy?
Yeah, I am. What are you talking about? 11 points of damage, and it's slowed by 10 foot, for 10 foot off its movement speed. And he's gonna run up, trying to get to the edge of the jungle where they're going in, so he can hopefully get any more captives.
Okay.
Hold it right
all right
there.
So as you guys have been bombarding them with spells and other
Did you
things
want my
like that,
damage for that one guy?
Oh yeah, what was your damage
12 points of damage, 5 and 7.
total? 5 and 7 total?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not even a challenge.
So stabbing into one and you wound another, you managed to take out 2 of the individuals that were doing that, and stopping them in their progress, and they start trying. The one that's just wounded is just trying to crawl away from you. If you'd like to make an opportunity attack, you can.
Well, yes.
Again, go for it.
Well, yes, I would. Stomp his head with the 20.
That's a mighty stomp.
Oh yeah. So you stab one and kill him, and you like maim the other, and he falls to the ground. And as you're like cleaning off your blade, you hear this scrabbling noise down by your feet, and you just turn and you stomp, and then the noise stops.
Got him.
Looks like I got an open
Nice hit,
slot.
So at that point, all of you make a perception check.
Ooh, got a 17.
21.
21.
7 again.
Okay. You see, at the edge of the jungle area, seems like an odd individual in somewhat more flashy clothing, kind of like a unique puffy outfit, like puffy around the arms and puffy around the legs, kind of Renaissance style looking clothing. has this arrow drawn with a flame on it and releases it, and then disappears back into the forest. And as you've seen this, you see it arc, and it lands and hits the ground, and immediately you see this green fire just start erupting from the ground upwards and start consuming the area around you. That liquid that they seem to have been pouring, while the normal red fire didn't ignite it, whatever he shot seemed to have ignited that, and it's starting to burn, and burn very rapidly. It's at this point that a lot of, during that moment of distraction, that things have gone to run away into the forest, and you also hear a blaring horn call that comes off, and you notice that there seems to be a group of knights approaching you from the kingdom. And they start rushing in and kind of mopping up and helping out. After some chaos ensues, and they've put a lot of effort into trying to put out this green flame, they eventually discover that the most that they can do is basically dig a ditch around it and cause it to stop. So they quickly work on that and use some magics, and they stop the progression of that fire, but it's still burning on the little area that has been kind of carved out around in the ground. They kept it from being able to spread to anything else, but the fire is still burning there in green, putrid colors. After a moment, one of the commanding knight-looking officers kind of steps off his horse after things have calmed down and approaches you and your little band of adventuring selves. Couldn't think of the word.
Just good citizens. We're just
Put
responsible
my hood up.
citizens.
Right.
Just doing our part.
And as the knights are taking care of some different things, he lifts up his helmet, and you see underneath a patched eye and what looks like a whiff of a whitish hair, kind of scarred face from what you can see. And he addresses each of you. I've seen what you did to help the citizens. Glad that you did what you could. We arrived as soon as we could after hearing that they had sightings and breached through some of our defense line. My name's Commander Kelp. I'm here to assist and protect our supply line, which is what they were after. It looks like we made it here a little late, but it seems the damage was minimalized by your efforts. I'm grateful for your help that way. What is your names?
He probably knows of me. He can probably guess who I am.
Yeah,
If he's ever been around this part of the county before.
maybe. He recognizes each of you kind of in turn, but doesn't recall your names at the moment, to put it simply.
As he's riding up, I pull up my hood, and in case he's somebody that I'm not familiar with, and just introduce myself. Puckweudgi. Corporal Puckweudgi. In the mercenary lines. Puckweudgi to you, sir.
Acting Sheriff Alexander. Pleasure.
Alagar, the jungle of seasons.
Heard of you. Pleasure to meet you again.
You look like your dad. And your grandpa.
This guy kicked me out.
I mean, they're still alive, so that does make sense. We're both elves. So,
Oh, he's an elf? Okay.
he is an elf.
So he knows it's true. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to tell under the armor, but
Although
yeah.
my dad has 2 eyes, thank you very much.
And I
I guess a
noticed,
family tradition. Who knows?
I notice he doesn't even see me since he's a tall elf, so I just don't even say my name. It's like,
You're
whatever.
also on his blind side.
And hiding. And just hiding by instinct.
You're short and on the blind
He's like
side.
always moving to stay in his
Yes.
blind spot.
Roll a
As
stealth
he
check
turns,
for me.
he just moves.
Wasn't there 4 of you?
Just
Beltryn
But,
here helped as well, yeah.
Beltryn. Finally follows your hand gauge down to Beltryn. Just look rough. By the way, you do recover any of your harpoons.
he's got like a foot
That you've expended.
on the 3-in-1. He's just trying to like pull it out. He's like full body up on it, both legs.
That's
trying
a
to pull
mess.
it out.
You're made for fish, come on.
Made a bit of a mess there.
It's after a moment that you realize, oh, why am I pulling it through it? And you just push it through the bodies.
Oh, that's gross. Makes sense.
Much
You
easier.
want to save an arrow.
Well, really appreciate your
So,
your help there, Kelp.
um,
Hey, I made it around. But yeah, no, really appreciate your assistance on that. That was not a great situation. These boys moving around?
Have you
What was that?
seen these flames before?
Yeah, they're popular on the front line, though. It's rare for them to show up. We've been having some clerics and whatnot trying to figure out what the cause of it is. They say it's not divine, and they say it's not arcane. They also say it's not alchemical. I think they're just lying, and they don't know what that actually is, and they're just trying to make excuses.
What are these things?
Some
These
of the
lizard boys.
some of the dirty scoundrel creatures. We don't have a proper name to them. We just called them the corrupted. It's what we refer to most of their forces. They look similar to things that we've known in our world for a long time, but they look like mutated forms of them, or some kind of weird, abominable combination of others. So we refer to them as the corrupted.
Have I ever seen these types of creatures in my jungle before?
You've seen lizard folk, you've seen goblins. You've never seen something that looks like kind of both.
Okay.
It's easy to pull out the distinction of both, but it's also too different to kind of be like, is that goblin or is that lizard? So it has odd traits of both.
You boys hanging around for a bit or what?
Are they worth skinning?
It looks at
I have
the
to make some
different
coin
areas.
off of that. But they are. What's the
Yeah,
skin
actually,
look
what-
like? How's the
Bill-
pelt?
You do notice that the monsters that you have slain are starting to decay rapidly.
Oh, that's nasty. I'm gonna go clean out, stab my dagger in the dirt. Clean it off a little.
So, bones and all, they are just decaying, turning into somewhat bubbling pools of some kind of weird, nasty material, leaving its foul
This is
stench
wrong.
behind.
I'm glad I ate already.
Not natural.
Yeah.
The smell
You also
doesn't
notice
faze me.
that the grass where it is turns yellow. Is kind of dying, like it's been poisoned or something that way from their dead
Alright.
bodies.
We're gonna need to get,
Oh, that's
get the
wrong.
cleanup crews out
That's
here.
real
Clean
wrong.
this mess up. Yeah, that's nasty.
If I had something to put it in, I might save some of that though.
Puck.
I mean,
I
it's
feel like I'm
evaporating
Yeah,
into
Puck,
turning
smoke.
into Swing Blade.
It basically turns from a solid
Oh.
to a liquid to a gas. Let's put it that way.
Oh,
So eventually just evaporates as it burns and boils and evaporates into that nasty cloud, leaving a foul
Yeah.
smelling stench around that slowly goes away. Like
moving away
an
from that.
unwelcome fart. So
An important distinction from a welcome fart, which is
yeah, some
Makes
people
the
appreciate
cleanup
this, although
better.
This one's never
Yeah,
appreciated.
I don't own that one.
Kelp. You hang
So,
around for a while or what? What's
going from
on,
there-
Kelp?
Well, we need to kind of take care of some things. There's been some problems going on with the front lines. We haven't
Yeah,
made any
shoot.
progress recently, and we think we know what they're
What?
after.
Is that
Still-
thing?
We're stationed here to defend the supply line for the night, so I
Sure.
thank you guys for your help. We'll have our troops stay stationed. You may return to your daily lives and otherwise,
Yeah.
though we may call
What's
for
the
you
thing
later.
that you think they're after? I
But-
mean, that seems rather pertinent.
That's
Right. I mean,
classified
is it like
information.
town folk? Are we missing folk? Do we take a poll? Can we everyone take roll call real quick here? Are we missing any town folk?
You can figure that out. There's been
Sure.
oddities going on. We don't know if they steal them for food or something else.
Yeah, no,
but we'll
I
get to
appreciate
that.
that. Kelp, you.
Well then, I must be off, but
Right, yeah.
hope to see you all again soon. As
We'd
Commander
be happy
Help,
to help if you need us.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I will keep that in mind.
you know, we got a lot to do here, so you know, we'll work on that for a bit first. But
Climbs up on his horse, gives you a nod, and then rides off and starts directing the troops again.
yeah, let's not volunteer for too much extra work here, boys. Come on.
After
That's what
that-
we do around here.
Not long after, you guys start helping up with the cleanup. and dealing with the various problems going that way. There's some talk about what to do about those that were captured or
Yeah, how
didn't
many
make
we
it out
missing?
of the raid. What to do about the missing merchandise and other things that way. Things are in a bustle, and oddly enough, making the tavern that you stay at, which I don't know why the Broken Spirits Tavern, more popular than normal today.
Quick question: did
Okay.
they leave behind anything useful?
Bubbling goo.
Not seemingly. They seem to be using their own claws, their own appendages. They don't tend to wear much in the way of armor or weapons.
Well, how many
Everything else melted.
citizens? Yeah, how many citizens did they get off with? I mean, we got
Hard to
we
tell. Few dozen, maybe.
few dozen. Oh, heck, this is my constituency. I mean, not that I was elected.
You
but
don't know if it's people from your town or just the merchants that are traveling through or the different traders that way.
Is there a blacksmith in town?
There is not.
Holy crap!
The reasons why I said you cannot be a blacksmith.
Yeah. I mean, I can do a little field repair on stuff. You know, I can repair equipment and that sort of thing. I can't. Not any blacksmith.
I'm actually thinking about going to the what is the market called? I can't think. Golden Trader, and trying to see if they have any kind of credit situation I can use.
We'll get to that in a bit. You know from your experience that they do not offer credit.
Especially not to you.
Good to know. Hey, you know, I asked regularly. Sometimes give me the right answer I want to hear.
You know that they only deal in cold hard cash. You do know that they have a small supply of normal equipment stuff, so you could purchase a great sword or a long sword. The problem is,
if you had any money,
it still costs 15 gold.
Holy crap!
Seem to be a bit penniless at the moment.
So was anybody abducted into the woods?
Yes, several of them were abducted into the jungle.
You know, I'm not going back.
Care about. Is it just?
I say we go into the woods. I can't leave this. I know this.
Well, it can help us sort of navigate so we don't fall in any quicksand.
You know where they'd be going, Alagar?
You do notice that there are several soldiers posted around the jungle that are barring entry in and to from it.
Oh, so we can't go after them?
Well, I can't go home, so guess I'll just stay and help with you guys.
Yeah. So if we go and talk to these soldiers, they're just like, no one's going after these lizard folk. We're taking care of it.
Our orders are to prevent anybody from pursuing or coming out until we know of the situation first.
I'm not much for those orders.
Yeah, I'm gonna file a complaint with Kelp.
That sounds like orders for soldiers, not orders for townsfolk.
Yeah, what's your jurisdiction here? Where's the overlap on that? Did they cross a county line? Do you guys get to move in if they cross a county line? Is that how that works?
They just kind of like roll their eyes and sigh. It's like, if you have an issue,
appropriate
take it
reaction.
up with the commander. Otherwise, we will detain you.
You can't detain me. I'm the sheriff here. I'm acting
I
sheriff.
put a hand on his shoulder. He's not drawing more attention in case we want to do otherwise.
And give him a little kiss.
Nope. I got you. I don't know what's going on here, but all right.
All right. Sandy turns around frustrated. Feds coming in, taking over. It's my case. It's my beat. It's my town.
I feel like I'm going to go full redneck if you don't stop.
That's my bit, Scott.
I'll be Sling Blade. I'll put mustard on you. You'll
Just
be
think of
sorry.
a completely different voice for Puck, and then it'll cancel it out, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a struggle now.
So.
Use a Bronx voice. But
That's what that is. Bronx? I don't know.
Bronx.
Hey,
Then I would just be Arthur Fonzarelli.
that works. All
Hey.
So next up, the day
Alright,
passes on as you complain about the various situations that have occurred, especially now that the trouble has come to literally your front door. started causing issues in your hometown and your peaceful lives, throwing things into turmoil. It's even hard to find a space at your favorite tavern, the only tavern.
I'm used to eating on the porch.
During this complaint and otherwise, the later evening hits as a bit of commotion happens near the front of the tavern. Having returned your your woodware to Sally, you notice Commander Kelp along with a couple other individuals. One in kind of a priestly robe, and a soldier that seems to be just his right-hand man. Come in to the tavern, look around for a moment, lock eyes with you and your group, and start heading their way towards you. Once he
It
arrives
should
at
be
your
hard.
temple,
He walked by
says,
me when I was on the porch. Sorry.
Sally
he'll
gets
probably
us some
grab
table.
you and drag you inside then.
Yeah.
And he
Sally
says,
gets us some
"A moment
table.
of your time, sir," and leads inside and finds each of you. Looks around for a moment and realizes there isn't really an empty room, and says, "Would each of you mind following me for a bit? I
Back on the
have a
porch.
relatively important thing to discuss with each of you."
Yeah, sure, Kelp.
Yeah, I follow him.
My card is open.
That's Mosey.
How's that? Is that better?
Leads you out of the
Squinty eyed
tavern
guy.
and starts heading towards a tent. Rather large tent. Seems to be his commanding post that they've
that's
set
nice.
For
up.
my glasses like this.
That's a nice tent. You can stand up all the way inside. I like that. A lot of them back. Remember, Bill, back what they gave us back in the military? We just had those little tiny ones you had to get down on all fours to get into.
I had
Which
that
are
happen.
scattered around that
I had to
tent.
find somebody like me enough to snap them together so we could both sleep in it. What's that about?
But the going from there, he leads you inside the tent. After a moment, he stations a few guards outside. The priest waves his what's
Holy
it
symbol?
called?
Holy symbol?
Dang it! I want the Uncle Festus voice now. I just happy.
I want to say a scepter.
That's hard.
But we'll go with that.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little scepter, and you feel like your ears popped for a moment, and you're like, that was weird. He says, "Nothing but a precaution, just to make sure that nobody can eavesdrop on us."
Yeah, I ain't been dropping no eaves, sir. But
Can you hear me when I
yeah,
grunt?
what's going on here?
Well,
Did you
then,
get that grunt?
I have a message from the capital to search for certain individuals of hero status, and I need each of you to lay your hand upon this. And he unveils what appears to be a crystalline tablet that's almost looks like a book with handprints in it.
Is that gonna
You
help
can't tell if it's just something that's been crafted or something that way that just is laying on the table in front of him. He says, "If each of you would like to place your hands upon that crystal,
Is that
this
gonna help you
just a
find
check."
hero folk? Like, does this like turn on? Is a battery to find heroes like in the area? I mean, some of those
Something
soldiers are
like
pretty
that,
cool.
yes. Would
I
you
mean, they
mind
seem to
putting
be
your
doing
hands
it.
on it?
What is this
Like
thing?
this. And he'll put his hands on it. No reaction of any kind. Takes his
I'll
hands
take
off.
off
Just
my
do
glove.
that if you want to put your hands on it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So Hargus,
Sandy.
Sandy,
Puckweudgi.
you put your hands on it,
Yeah.
and it begins to glow.
See.
Kind of a whitish light.
So it's
take
a
hands off and the
non-hero
glow
detector. Gotcha.
And the thing closes.
That makes sense.
Next up,
Hope it's not an alignment thing, because I've done some things. Put my
You gotta
hand on
stop
it.
saying that stuff out loud.
you put your hand on it, it
Did
glows
I say
again.
that out loud?
You put your hand on it, and it glows a different color. You take your hands. It's just slightly shades of white, but it looks like
Put my glove back on.
whereas one was slightly pink, this one's greenish. Okay, take your hands off.
I put my hands on to see what color they come.
Slight whitish, bluish coloration. And then,
I hesitantly do it too. I don't trust magic much, so
do you just
but
like
since I'm
slap it?
kind of like
Like it's hot.
You know those touch globe lamps that just like flicker on off? That's basically what you do when you're like, it's just like, "Weet, weet, 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 weet." And then after a moment, Commander Kelp just grabs your hand and slaps it on it, and then it glows. And slight other color, slightly yellow.
So what I'm getting here is that I got strawberry cream center, Puck, you're spearmint, Al, you're probably some kind of blue raspberry kind of vibe, and then banana for Bell, which is interesting. I wouldn't have picked you for banana custard type, but that's great. That's really neat. It's a neat.
I like pudding,
Raspberries aren't blue.
but I don't tell people about it. Sandy knows. I mean,
It's at
Sally
that
knows.
moment that the priest
Sally knows I like
next
pudding.
to Commander Kelp
Oh,
goes, "This can't be right. I mean, these guys?" And the commander says, "Well, we were given command, and that's what the oracle said. So I suppose this is the individuals."
Somebody in the group says hurtful.
No, Sandy just nods. He's
Commander
like,
Kelp addressed each of you. Sorry for the bit of mystery and stuff that way, but we had to be sure without revealing much. And as we were instructed to do, we were given a command from Her Ladyship, the Queen,
Oh,
to seek out individuals that would be heroes in this time of war. It's at that moment that all of you seem to recall that heroes have already been called, right? You're pretty sure that you've heard rumors of heroes already being called, already fighting on the front lines. Why do you need you? Why do they need you?
It's my life experience that heroes in peacetime occupy jails, and heroes in wartime become heroes.
By heroes, are we to understand like champions, like specifically called like a small group of like superhero type thing that are like not just run of the mill
I'll
soldiers?
say you know from your age, so you don't have to roll a history check because you lived through it. You know that there have been times in the past when strifes either with other nations or otherwise, individuals have been blessed by Evimeria and the Guardians to protect its lands. These are known as the heroes.
That is not something
Whatever
I
method
thought
that
for
they just
myself.
use, they're claiming indicates that you have been blessed as such. Maybe a weak blessing from what you hear the priest complaining about in the back. It's like, but it was so faint, but it was still active. I've never seen anything like that. I thought it was supposed to be brilliant light. What is going on in here? And you just hear him complaining in the back.
Where are the other guys?
It's like close to 9. Yes, it glowed. Oracle's just like close enough. Yeah, I can call these guys.
More of a mood light.
Oracles, that's Oracle stuff. That's right up your alley, yeah, Al? I mean, did you have a vision of us becoming heroes of the land?
I kind of scratch my dreadlocks a little bit and it falls down. I'm like, now that I think about it,
Toy Story.
I'm pretty sure that this was the first prophecy I ever made, and it was like 350 years ago, so I almost... Yeah, one day, me and some friends from town would be called as heroes.
That
This
one's
is the
not in the
longest
book.
prophecy coming yet.
Not in the book here, Al. You didn't
I
mention.
know,
that one,
it was like...
Before you
It
were
was a couple hundred years before you were born. I almost completely forgot about it.
I can't give you credit for this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As
Unbelievable.
Commander Kilp goes, well, time is of the
That is not
essence.
comfortable.
Let me explain to you. Oh, gosh. You need a sword that's like that, but is a back scratcher on one side. So you
Yeah.
can just put it back there and go like
This is the
this.
sword of
That's what the
scratching.
shark skin's for.
Yeah, sword of scratching.
Anyways.
That sounds awesome.
Are you looking up to something like that now?
What's the
Hey,
bear hunt? It's called Bear Hunter.
That's the magic
Bear
item he's
hunter.
gonna pursue. No.
gives you advantage on animal handling.
Back scratching. Give you an extended reach for back scratching.
Yeah. Going from there, Commander Kelp addresses you and demands your attention. Just claps his hands together. There's a reason why he's called Commander.
Commanding.
And he has a very commanding presence, and
And
immediately
he's called
grabs
Kelp
all of your
because
attention.
he's salty and green.
He just gives you an eye.
I assume.
There you go. A flirt.
Aaron, an eye. Not your character. You. He only has one to give, so.
There you go. You've been heroes for 2 seconds. You're already trying to get promoted.
Where do we start, Commander?
Well, truth be told, I've been sent out to find, apparently, you individuals. The Queen had consulted with the others and had provided an oracle. She stated that heroes would come to help pave the way for our forces and save our kingdom. We were sent out to the various villages with a bit of a direction of what to look for. You guys happened to match the very vague description I was given, so I took a chance and decided to check. I need to return this artifact to the capital, but before that I will give you your creed. As citizens, I hereby invoke the right to call you to arms, and as such, will give you a task to protect our nation. In doing so, you will be renowned, rewarded, and favored upon completion. The situation at hand is dire. 2 of the Guardian shrines have been overcome and taken over by the forces of the Rack Legion. We seek individuals to take that back. We have dispatched the current heroes that were called before you to each location to defend it. However, we have lost contact with 2 of those locations already. It was not too long after the first one was lost that the lady, our queen, had this oracle come to her, calling forth for us to find another. And I have recently received war of the Living Fire Shrine having fallen. Since that one is the most recent to fall, we imagine that it is either not had time to set up its defenses or otherwise, and we wish to take it back before they can form a strong enough foothold there. So I am sending you 4 to take it back. Supposedly whatever protection that you have been granted from this blessing should help you out on your way. Should you need supplies and that, I can arrange for it, though it might take some time for us to get it. So if there's anything that you immediately need, may it be weapons or armor, please let me know, and I can arrange for it.
Well, this is the time to be humble. I am ill-equipped for campaign right now, sir.
Understood. I noticed
Can you hear me okay talking like that?
Yes. Totally fine.
It's been fine living in the back country, but I've been on enough campaigns to know it's not going to suit me well if I want to survive actual combat.
Would you prefer a great sword or a long sword?
Great sword. Heavy crossbow if you have it and can spare it.
It goes over to one edge of his tent, pulls up a great sword. Blade has served me well, tosses it to you. You now have a great sword.
With a flourish, I'll tuck it under my back arm like in a familiar position because I'm used to just carrying it in my hand for getting it out quickly.
Okay. Anything else that you individuals need? Sadly, there's not much in the way of armor that I can provide at the moment, but I might be able to do that instead of a weapon.
I think I'm good.
Can't stab someone through the back very well with a fishing pole, so some type of knife would be dagger or a short sword. And
reaches onto his belt and pulls out a short sword. What would this do for you? Or would you prefer a knife? I do have a knife as well. Unbuckles one from his lapel.
I'll like kind of weigh them, like play them in my hands, and then I'll keep the knife.
Okay, takes the sword back and pockets it.
I haven't had a short sword since I was active in the military. I mean, they give me this kind of like quarterstaff here is sort of a rod of authority thing, but
Yes, we prefer that you don't murder citizens so much as put them on trial,
I
right?
boop them, you know.
So he, as he's fastening the short sword, he stops. He's like, "Right," and then hands you the sword, the one sword, short sword that he has.
So I got one. All right, great. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't know how much of the supplies I can hand out to you, but if there's anything that you need, gesturing to Alagar.
I'm good. I've got Mother Nature watching over me.
Yeah, I noticed the interesting design of that farming utensil that you have there. Farming tool.
Oh yeah, you don't farm out in the jungle. You need different grips and different parts on it. Get more wear than usual. Had to make it myself anyway. So.
All right. Well, I've prepared 4 fast horses and a guide for you to lead you to the Shrine of the Living Fire. You would be able to arrive there within the next couple days with that help. Now then, I do have other matters to attend to. It would probably be best that you leave of the essence. Do you require rest or anything before you go?
I mean, I guess we just got to get ourselves ready for a journey. How many days is it gonna be?
Just about by fast horse travel, especially these ones, probably about a day, 2 days. If you ride the whole time. Those horses are geared for long travel. They will not stop as long as you're riding them, but 2 days would probably be their maximum. After that, you would have to let them rest.
Should we leave
Commander.
first thing in the morning?
Either leave in the morning or now, whichever way. The guide is ready for you, and so are the horses.
I'm ready to leave and make do with what I have, but I truly am not equipped for any kind of prolonged campaign.
Well,
But if they require me to leave now, I'll leave now.
Will do.
Yeah.
Well,
Any armor
be
would be
back
great.
in about half an hour, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
if you'll excuse me, I have plans to attend to. But should you have aid of me, you can always talk to the guide or my compatriot here.
Hey, actually,
And
I do got a
he
question
will
for you.
send a message to me.
When I signed up here, they gave me a set of old splint that I just can't really wear. It's a bit bulky for me. You got any breastplate or studded leather, anything like that? I could trade you for it if you don't want to, leave one of your men without armor. I'll trade you some splint for something else.
I'll swap with you.
What do you got on?
I don't know how it fits you. I got old chainmail I found.
Ring mail.
It's only got one hole in it. Excuse me, ring mail. It's only got one hole in it.
Ring mail?
I'll gesture.
The right hand man next to him kind of chuckles a bit because you said only one hole and it's ring mail.
Yeah.
It's got lots of
Well, by that I mean it's only got one broken ring where the last fellow who wore it caught an arrow.
Yeah. I was starting to count them and just make sure, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little old, but I think splint's fairly expensive. So
Just needs a little polishing.
Got stuff you could trade for the old splint.
It's mostly only rusty around the hole.
Yeah. Can you wear splint?
He can wear splint
Or anything.
because
Alright.
it's heavy and he's strength based.
Yeah, all right. You want
As
the
a
splint?
fighter.
It's-
The ring mail is medium, so if you guys want to swap,
Yeah.
you can.
He'll tell him where to go get the
can
splint
adjust
after he
it
gets
with
his
the belt.
chainmail. And then he'll look to Kelp and go, "Hey, so I got this set of old chainmail. Can I switch it out for some studded leather, or my buddy's gonna take that splint?"
You may be able to trade that in over the Golden Trader.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm not sure
as I
that's an
mentioned before,
upgrade.
I don't know if there's
check it
much
Splint is.
armor that I can do. For
Yeah.
you. Sure. We'll say it's chain shirt.
Chain
We'll move
shirt.
with that.
Okay.
So if you want to use the chain shirt,
Chain.
We managed to find somebody to trade for that or something.
Oh
Yeah.
no, chain shirt would be good for me. Yeah, that's fine.
tattered chains shirt.
Okay, chain shirt. All right, I'll just switch.
I've only
straight up
got
to
one
the
broken ring.
Yeah, so I'll take the chain shirt. That gets me.
Reminds me of a fun idea where you do ring mail, but one of the rings is your wedding ring. Anyways.
That's
right
pretty
Worked
good.
into the
gold ring in it.
Seriously
Yes, over
accurate.
your heart, where it's over. Anyways,
I rather like that, actually.
going from there. After that moment, after some time of preparations, do you guys leave now or in the morning?
I only said tomorrow morning because I was considering you guys. I hope I didn't seem like I was assuming that you guys would do it. I just know that you guys need to sleep, and I don't. And so, I mean, if you guys need to sleep, then that's totally fine. I can wait till tomorrow morning. I could go right now. I can see in the dark. I don't have to sleep. But if you guys are tired, like I don't want to push you. So.
No, I mean we just had breakfast.
Let me just straighten this out.
What's
We've
that?
got split mail,
You got
great sword. What are we gonna do about eating?
About what?
You travel on her
rations are
stomach,
in-
remember?
Food rations are provided in the saddlebags.
They equip the horses for us.
Okay.
Is
Cool.
this like evening, DM? Did you say
it's
it was
close
like?
to, it's evening.
Oh,
So
it's
if you
close
were
to
to leave
evening.
now, you'd
Oh.
leave during the night,
Oh yeah, no.
which
Alright,
they
yeah,
did.
that's
They
right.
did suggest to do. Sorry if I didn't communicate
Oh.
that well.
They want us to travel at night.
So all right.
I'm worked up enough. I could probably leave now.
All right, you want
I don't think I'll be able to sleep well tonight anyway.
No one has any trouble seeing in the dark
The
then?
image of whichever kid may be missing, burning in your memory and retina.
He seeks vengeance. Yeah, we could. All right. Yeah, if you're all good to roll. Yeah, I could head out.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm
Aladar.
willing to go now.
Is one of the horses a pony?
Roll a D100 for me. On a 50 or higher, yes.
57.
One is distinctly more pony-like.
All right. So we're gonna have to go real slow. Maybe we just leave the pony and take Belle on top of one of the horses with us because that pony ain't gonna move very fast. It's a little kind of clip-cloppy.
I could straddle that
The
pony
scout
on the
that's
back of my
holding them
purchase.
forward is like, well, actually, that's a rare breed. It's known as the little cricket.
Oh, hey, that's a cute name.
Yeah, it's technically our fastest horse.
You don't say. That is impressive.
Thing I would say to my
We
kids.
can- All right,
Must
well,
not have
name,
been too big.
can I petition we
It's-
name the pony Jiminy then? And then we just,
I wonder what his little
I
leg.
mean, how did you know its name?
oh, it just had that. I got that sense from it. I'm real good with animals. All right, well, let's.
But then,
Oh,
if you want
no.
to
Right
take
out.
Jiminy and Stumpy, Lumpy, and Lightning, then
Dibs on Stumpy.
understood.
I like a calm animal, so.
Oh, Stumpy's the most grumpy one.
We call him Grumpy Stumpy.
We call him Grumpy Stumpy.
All right, let's go.
He's got
Which
bad
one do
knees,
you
but he
want?
runs real fast.
Which one of the other remaining horses looks bigger?
Probably Lightning. Lightning looks the biggest.
You go ahead and take Lightning, Puckweudgi. I'll take Lumpy.
Lumpy, when you sit on him,
Good.
really odd feeling back
I
of
like
the
lightning.
Why does this
What
horse?
does that even mean?
Feel it through the saddle.
Yeah, I look at the
That's a hard
saddle and
lacquer.
I look at the saddle and I notice it's gotten several custom like tailoring belts and stuff on it to keep it on. I'm just like,
Looks like you got a real princess in the pea situation going over there, Al. That does not look pleasant.
Scout says, Lumpy survived many a battlefield.
Oh,
Explosions, fireballs,
oh boy.
being basically cut in half, all sorts of things. He's a survivor.
Do we
Real
call him?
fast.
Is it
And
Lucky
you start to
Lumpy?
realize this horse has a patched eye,
Oh
a
no.
pegged leg,
Oh dear.
half a tail.
Oh, Lumpy.
I'm a little bit concerned about this peg leg here. Is it?
Oh, don't worry. He's been magically attached to his nervous system. He feels everything.
Oh, that is
Oh,
horrific.
that's kind of cool.
That is absolutely.
Also a little weird. I hope it doesn't snap in
You
half.
notice
But,
Lumpy has a strange drool coming from his chin, and every time that one goes down, he like froths at the mouth.
I'd watch that one.
I'm just like this reminds me a lot of a camel that I rode.
Camel?
So-
What the heck is
He looks like a
Anyways,
horse that
I'm
doesn't
just
have enough
thinking of it as a
sense to
camel.
not
It
eat
feels totally
sunflowers.
comfortable.
I think he's been eating too
They
much
took
clover.
parts from different animals to put them back together. Maybe that's why he's lumpy. I don't know. I haven't heard the whole story. He's a bit timid unless you're a druid. So
oh, there you go. All right, well.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
so
I'm
next person
ready.
called y'all in.
Lumpy, you're ready.
I don't know if you noticed.
as you guys ride off,
Sorry.
and the scout leads your pack, you ride off into the night, fairly fast pace, taking you upon on the main road as well as shortcuts that he happens to know that bisect the main road and go off trail for a while, and then you find yourself back on the main road again very quickly. Having traveled around this area before, you realize fairly early on that he knows his way around Evimeria, and knows paths that don't look like would lead to a path or otherwise. You make quick travel, and through the first day of riding, I need. Let's do this. Reg, would you roll a D100 for me?
Thank you.
What is that?
No, I can't.
Two D10s, one that's a percentile and one that's normal.
Never mind.
37.
Luckily, you're supposed to roll low.
And you're supposed to mow for me.
So, the evening air, while cold,
Have fun and be careful, please.
and partial
No
cloud
lake
cover
dredging for
helps
bodies.
you with your travel. You do not run into any in particular issues of being discovered or otherwise. You make smooth travel, gaining a day on your travel. So you actually make really good headway towards the mountains, crossing the stream and otherwise, and you realize the mountains approach much quicker than you thought they would. You also don't recall crossing a bridge, but you realize you're on the other side of the river at this point.
What? I feel like I missed something having to tend to my kids.
You've made very quick travel, according to his roll.
Particularly westward?
Almost magic-like
Yes,
travel?
westward from where you were.
Westward, okay. Oh,
Good old
dear.
Lumpy.
Oh, Lumpy. Sweet baby Lumpy.
I know as we travel,
My sweet baby boy.
I set snares every night to try to extend our rations. And search the woods for stuff to supplement the horse fodder.
So, okay, you
Lumpy
can,
out of
but
business.
you've been traveling for a full day, basically. But your perception of time and otherwise seems to have been stranged. Yep, there's Lumpy. Within the time, by the time of the next evening, you realize you're arriving near the footsteps of the Living Fire Shrine. Something is strange about the landscape for those that have traveled here before is that where would normally be volcanic rock covered in somewhat snow and otherwise, and seem very regal and rugged barren land, there seems to be a nasty smell and a strangeness, almost like it's been covered in muck about the land. It seems dirty. It seems foul. As you start to approach one of the shrined area of the Living Fire, you notice that the normal fortress that protects the area no longer flying the banners of the banner of the kingdom.
Real quick, was I able to procure a heavy crossbow from the supply sergeant or anything?
I will say no for the moment.
Okay.
Is the smell of this just nastiness? Is it similar at all to when the lizardmen were dissolving?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Crap.
The fortress that guards the shrine is in
Guards
shambles.
the rail.
It seems to have been destroyed. The walls broken in, the front gate being destroyed, and otherwise. And while it looks like there may be occupants, on your travel here, you start noticing that there's other horses behind you. A regiment of soldiers. These are your own soldiers from the capital that seem to have merged up and met with you, coming out of the woodwork, as it would seem. No woods around, but had met up with you and seemed to have been coming from their various hiding places. And at that moment, the scout pulls out a horn, says, "When you're ready, we will charge."
I'm sorry, what?
And then
Oh,
you
we
just hear
charge
a
you? Okay.
roar of individuals as arrows start coming over the I can't think of what that's called.
Save me, Stumpy.
The ramparts. The ramparts of the fortress that guards this enshrined area. The arrows just out of the dark, some of them being lit and otherwise start pelting down on you. The scout pulls forth what looks like a weird gong and hammers it, and like a little bubble seems to appear around you.
Oh.
And then the gong shatters and dissipates.
Oh.
And he's like, "We're moving now." As you start running forward, your little group seeming to be protected from the arrows. A boulder comes flying by, though, and gets a little too close to each of you, and you realize, not that powerful magic.
It's still pretty good. It's pretty good. So it stops metal, but not rock. Okay, that's pretty slick, though. I like it.
After a moment, the field starts shimming around you, but you've reached the broken gates and you run through. All the soldiers behind you start collapsing against the walls, breaking against it like waves against rock, and the battle ensues. The scout leads you through the area and eventually gets an arrow in the shoulder and takes to the ground, rolling for a bit. He says, "Just a little bit further and you'll reach the shrine entrance. Don't worry about me."
Okay. I
He
mean,
pulls forth a sword, and then immediately some gnarled creature. It looks like a mixture between a gnoll, but also some other creature that has fleshy attributes. So it's like it's patchy werewolf gnoll look to it. It's really weird looking. Maybe an orc, and
I'd try and blast it with a firebolt real quick. Just
okay. Make an attack roll.
it's going to be a 16 to hit. Yep, 16 to hit.
As it hits it, roll for damage.
10 points of
Rolling forward with my great sword in my arm, like a makeshift spear or lance. That's all I can do, right?
Yeah. Your firebolt hits him. Whatever weird patchmark form of fur that this creature had is now bit from the flames, and it falls on the ground, just rolling around. And then the scout kind of lumbers over with the arrow in his shoulder, pulls out the arrow, and just jabs it into its throat. And then he gives you a thumbs up, and then pulls his sword out, and then runs off into the fray.
All right.
You guys are left on the slight path that leads around up to the enshrined area of the living fire, where the temple itself resides.
All right, raise your hand if you've
As
charged a fortified position before. Can I get a show of hands? It's just me. Just me? It's not me. I have never done that. I was a scout. I just snuck up on things. I did not. All right, let's go.
The
I've
horse
been cannon fodder a few times.
All right, you can put you right in front then, and I'm gonna stay behind you. Just kidding.
The horses stop with where you're at. As you
all
dismount
about
and you
keeping
start
moving.
moving forward, you have reached the evening, kind of the next day, but the torchlight reveals the giant doubled embossed relief door of the Living Fire's shrine. Looking at the front door, you notice a strange individual kind of angrily knocking on the door, going across back and forth across it. And what looks like jester-ish attire. Turns and looks at you, and you see what looks like an impish individual in fine clothing.
Is it
So this-
similar clothing with the one who ignited the green?
You didn't see,
Or,
so you don't know.
Does he look similar
I mean,
to... Who saw
who's
it then?
this?
I saw it, I think, right? Does it look like that guy?
I saw it.
I think I did.
I just didn't take note of it.
Maybe similar. Hard to tell.
So imps are like
There's-
devilish, sort of?
Is he some sort of magic user?
He seems lithe and otherwise. You know how the jester in European style is usually drawn with knobby arms and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but impish kind of facial features and like long ears.
Does he look like he feels at home in storm drains?
Storm.
Maybe.
I think
But-
I'm missing some mythos there.
I'm killing him.
Yeah.
He's a jester who lures children into storm trains and turns into a giant spider. And
Ew, he was a clown, I think. Worse.
jester clown. Is there a difference?
Yeah.
All that gentrified
He
entertainment.
turns and he takes a bow towards each of you. He
Howdy.
says, "Pardon my unseemly appearance and my disgruntlement towards this
Door.
barring infernal contraption.
Door.
But if you would be so kind, I could use some help. You see, inside this temple to the living fire, resides a gem that I could use.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't ask you to get it for me for free, but if you wouldn't mind acquiring this gem for me, then I would provide you with this. And pulls out what appears to be a rather large key. You see, this key opens this door, but for whatever reason, it is not working for me. Supposedly, only the heroes can open it, which I think is dumb. Honestly, who would make a contraption like that? Why make a key and then say only one person can use the key? It just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, as you can see,
Checks out.
he tries to unlock the door, and it's like doesn't turn for him. He's like, it won't work for me. However,
I'm leaning over to Sandy. Are we in a dream sequence?
Maybe.
I bent over and I'm like, I don't dream, so that's a hard no. Real man.
While he's jabbering, I'll do a divine sense on him.
you do
Expending-
divine sense.
Yeah.
He is neither evil or good. He is neutral.
Neutral.
We're trying to breach this gate, right?
You're trying to go inside, yes.
And
Yeah,
he's
I'll just-
offering
I'll
us
take
a
the key and open it.
I'll just be like, hey, little man, you're to bargain with us. See, we're heroes of the realm, and we have the right to get past and go into this place. So I'm gonna have to ask you to surrender that key. No strings attached.
I step forward
Sorry,
and
but
take
you
the
see,
key.
this key is my key. It's not your key. So, and I'm not from here, so I don't follow your rules. So if you don't want to deal with me, then I don't want to deal with you. And you can figure out for your own self how to get inside then. And I can just keep the key for myself. And the next individuals who claim to be heroes, I can give it to them if they're willing to make the trade.
I'll take that key.
So I
You promise to get me the gem?
Do I have to do it, or can't you just get it yourself?
Snaps his finger and a contract pops up. Sign here. I will give you the key, and then you get to be the gem, and then we're good.
Why
Who
don't
are
you
you?
just take the key, Puck? He's obstructing justice here. I don't think he has diplomatic immunity.
I'll flourish my mark on his
Yeah,
paper
just-
and take the key. Are you all ready?
well,
You're
before
going to
you
sign
say
in
something-
for this.
Yeah.
What-
I don't get to use my calligraphy very often, so
I'll read the thing first there. Come on now. I mean, don't just go agreeing to some
All right.
magical contracts.
will you read it? That's like
It's-
standing in line. Could you mind
It's in
reading
large
it?
print, and it just says that a contractor agrees to the giving of this key upon taking it and the use of it, that they will agree to return the gem that is desired by the
Party of the first party.
the party of the first party, giving it to them Post
You
tense,
wanna give me a
upon
glass of
immediately revisiting
My
of
cup
the
is
individual
in there.
in question
Thank
that
you,
has
Peter.
been signed hitherto on the contract, and you see the signature of the name
The one
of
with
the
the horse is
individual
sitting
is
on by the
Bon
key.
Mort.
Mon Mort. And is he Fey, Fiend, or
Empty it first.
Undead, or Celestial?
Yes.
Which one?
No, as in yes.
All of them?
You detect all of them, yes.
Oh boy, that is a complicated fella.
What are we detecting?
My divine sense registers him as Celestial, Fey, Fiend, and Undead. So,
And also neutral.
and neutral. Well,
I'm a child of chaos.
all right. So what happens? What happens if he can't get you the gem? Like
Thank
what
you.
happens if
Make
he
a
gets in there?
perception check for me, since you had the advantage one.
Okay.
I don't understand why we need to make a deal with this guy. Just take the key.
What'd
What's
you
so
do?
special about this gem anyway? Weirdo.
I'm a collector.
From my perspective, I just charged these gates with arrows and
Yeah.
with projectile weapons coming down. All of a sudden, a dude poofs in front of me. I take the deal.
What? But here's a question for you. There. What's your name, friendo? Mort, is it?
My name is Bon Mort.
All right, Mort. My friend Bell here asked you a question here. I appreciate you answering.
I say it louder. What's so important about this gem anyway?
I'm a collector. It is something important to my collection. It's of very little and non-monetary value, though
Tell on your brother if he
may
says
say
it.
may claim it as sentimental and why it was stored here in the first place. But honestly, it's just for my collection in the museum that I am making. So if you wouldn't mind acquiring it for me, these are turbulent times, and unfortunately, not a very good time for collectors such as myself to acquire the things that they wish for,
Sure.
or maybe a presented opportunity, depending on how you look at the situation. Anyways.
Oh, Puck, you can take care of the gem then. Let's get through these doors.
This guy talks fast.
Last thing there, Monty.
Yeah. He must have some power, or we would have already been dead from arrows.
Signing of the contract?
Yeah, my
I've
question
signed
is,
it.
what if my friend here can't return the gem to you?
I'm blowing on
As
the
he
wood
signs
to
it,
dry it.
all
dear.
of your names appear.
That is not.
Wait, no, that's not binding. I didn't write that. That's not binding.
And then he disappears, and the key
That's
just goes
not
ding,
cool.
ding, 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 ding.
Obviously, a thing of chaos.
Well, that contract is that's not worth it. That won't hold up in court.
The image of the contract is in your mind now for each of you.
Yeah, I remember my.
That's never how these things go.
We took a course in contract law when we signed up for the basic training on the deputy here.
That's always an excellent argument with the gods.
If you'd like to make an intelligence check on the contract, you may.
Okay, yeah, sure.
All of you may.
Come on, something good here.
I'm rolling because everybody else is rolling.
Make an intelligence check.
Oh,
That's a 9.
it's kind of a misnomer for me. That would be a 9.
5.
Wait a minute, I think I have a +1 in intelligence. So 10. Yes. I'm not showing off, but
Oddly enough, the one that signed it is the only one to kind of notice this. It says that
Probably nothing.
the agreement of this is to use the that you agree to returning the gem to the individual that has given you the key upon the use of the key.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Do we even need the key to begin with? I try opening the door.
Yeah, let's
It
find
does
out.
not seem to open. There, it feels like it's one that either pushes in or opens up. But the doorway is double barred. It's bossed and has a relief on it.
have they started dropping stuff on us again?
No, the battle is going on and raging behind you. Seems that they are trying to maintain holding the fort that bars entry to this area. This area is a small pathway that leads up.
We kind of have cover here, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a keyhole.
There is a
Oh,
keyhole.
there's a keyhole.
All right.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Puck. Maybe our halfling friend would like to see if he can open it without the key.
All right.
Let me take a
As
look
long
at
as
this
we
lot.
got time.
Okay, make an investigation check for me.
I wish I had some of
Sally's.
Sally's brew to now.
Oh my gosh.
It's not as
Wow. What was that check again? Investigation?
Investigation.
Wish for drink.
4.
4 total. Okay.
Everything's
you
about it
figure
with
out pretty
now,
quick
aren't they?
that's probably the only way to unlock this door. Probably. Pretty darn
All
sure.
right.
It's also not a key or a hole that makes sense because square peg, round hole, but it goes in. What?
All right, just use the key then.
Clackety, clackety, clackety,
So
clackety.
you stick in the key?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you stick in the key and unlock it.
Kind of blunt
The
about
key
these
kind
things.
of disappears in your hand, and then you see several what appears to be sconces being held up by different races: half-elf, elf, halfling, tiefling, and human. And they're holding like what looks like a little candle next to them, and each of those flare up, just ignite.
Oh.
And as each of them ignite on this embossed engraving on the door, after all of them are lit up, the door opens up. You get a sense that maybe you could have lit those.
Should we re-secure the door to keep the bad guys out?
What was that?
Wouldn't I have noticed those with my 17 perception?
Is that your passive?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. Sorry, we can retcon that if you want to attempt, but
Okay. But wait, there's some too late.
Oh man.
Like right before he turns the key, like, hey, wait, look.
Never mind.
sorry. I'll
Should we
take note of
re-secure
that
these
for my
doors
own self.
behind us?
Roll. Actually, do this for me really quick. Austin, roll a D100 for me. On a 75 or better, you actually notice that you don't use the key. Or
71.
Oh,
70
so
or better.
close.
Yeah. But it literally was like right as his. Oh wait, never mind.
Did I say 75 or 70?
75.
75. I might have heard 70.
I wrote down 70, I said 75. So I rolled the dice.
It's up. I mean, it's.
Yeah, no, it's
I
good.
think he said
You do
75.
notice it as he sticks in the key right before he turns it. You just like slap his hand. You're like, wait, there's those things.
I'm not accustomed to this sort of behavior.
Yelling out Puck's name is very dangerous.
So we just have to we need to light these little candles to open the door?
To save time for this, you do
it.
light those candles.
I'll save this key for later.
Sandy will walk up and just tap each one with a finger, and they'll
I'll stick it on my armor.
Okay. But as you enter inside, you notice it opens up into a kind of a room. You notice once again there's the statues of each of those individuals kind of surrounding the room, and a doorway on the far side. You also notice that this place seems fairly clean, somewhat warm, and well lit. And you notice that's from the glow of magma kind of just emanating in it. The lava itself pouring out from that area and lighting up the room from various pathways that seem to have been carved into the area, allowing a natural light of lava to emanate in light in the room. So, going inside, you're looking around, and it seems like nobody's traveled in here for a while. You have a doorway to your right, and a giant doorway behind the statues that you see. What would you like to do?
doorway to right, and another doorway, you said? So we enter and there's a door to the left and right, or?
Yeah.
And then it like stretches out in a big corridor in front of us with lava down the center? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna look at the statues.
Okay. Each of the statues, with your perception, you notice have a writing of the language underneath them. You do recognize the Elven language one, but it's underneath a statue for halflings. And underneath it, it says 1.
Yeah, Beltryn,
The word
Can you-
1, not
can you
the
read-
symbol.
can you read under this halfling statue? What does that say? Is that halfling?
Looks elven to me. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's Elven underneath the halfling statue.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was pointing at the elven statue, and I was like, is that
What
Okay.
languages do you know, Beltryn?
Common, halfling, and thieves' cant.
No, it is not a language you recognize under the Elven one.
I'll look around. There's 4 statues, right?
Yes.
After he asks that,
There's
I'll
five.
look around at the
One of
other.
them's human, one of them is half-elf.
Oh.
There's one that represents each of your races. And then
Okay.
there's one that's not your race, which I believe none of you are human?
correct? Just half boy Sandy.
I do speak
Yeah.
Dwarvish, so I look around for some Dwarvish.
There is no Dwarvish.
No Dwarvish.
Is there any halfling?
You're a
halfling?
there is halfling.
Half elf.
It is underneath the tiefling statue.
Half elf under tiefling. What's
And it says 3.
Tiefling.
Oh, I don't have a pen.
3 and half.
Um,
No Dwarvish. No common.
What's the choices again?
Got a
so
half-
there's a statue of each of your races.
halfling
Under
elf.
the tiefling is the words in halfling 3. Under the elf, there's the words in halfling 1. And then there's a human one that has some writing underneath it. And then there is a half-elf and so halfling, elf, half-elf, and tiefling and human. Right?
That's 5.
Those are the 5.
Yep.
And you've checked under the tiefling one, which is the halfling writing. You
Yep.
haven't looked under the
Half-elf.
the halfling one. Well, you did, but you didn't recognize the language. It's if you want to look at it.
The halfling one was in Elvish, and it said 1.
I speak common and infernal. So
Oh yeah, check for that.
Infernal is underneath the half elf.
What number is that?
what's it say?
It says 4.
I'll just point out this says 4.
In
Oh,
Infernal.
there's a half elf statue too.
Yes, there's a half elf. There's an elf. There's a halfling, and then a human and a tiefling.
So we
statue.
still don't
That should
know-
be your 4 races, right?
That's disturbing.
human. We still don't.
Can I roll insight or whatever perception to notice this?
Yeah, we're all
Cool,
looking at 'em.
you know.
I mean, you notice it without
Correlation?
much issue.
Yeah, we're all looking at 'em.
Yeah, feel free to roll an insight check
So
to see if you can understand why it's doing it that way.
Halfling
Oh.
is 1 in Elvish.
Oh no,
Tiefling-
sorry, that would be an intelligence check, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Tiefling is 3 in Halfling.
Well, I rolled a 9 for intelligence check.
Half elf is 4
Okay.
in Infernal. We don't recognize the language under the elf or the human.
That's weird because I would have thought one of them would have been in common.
Yeah, there's no.
The
And-
human one, you'll notice that the human one statue does have something underneath it,
Mm-hmm.
but
We can't read it.
with your passive perception being high enough,
No,
you'll recognize
21.
that something's odd about the human one. It looks like there's a weird dial
Dial.
underneath of it where the language
Oh.
is.
What about the half elf?
The half-elf one has a language underneath it. What languages do you guys know?
Half elf is
Or
Infernal.
sorry,
We read-
the elf one. Does anybody know what's written under?
We don't know the elf one, right? That's so the human doesn't have writing; it just has a dial.
Yep, it has a dial which looks like some kind of strange, like as you rub over it, the characters change to a language that eventually you know.
this is creepy.
Or
And elf, so we still don't know elf, but I guess we can.
Do
Yeah,
they
what
all
languages
have a
do you guys
dial?
know?
Or is that the only one with a dial?
Yeah.
I know Druidic and Sylvan.
Okay.
Oh, I think I took
You know
Draconic or
Infernal.
something like that.
What do
Let
you
me
know as the
check.
half-elf?
Common, Elvish, and I picked Dwarvish as my other language, but
Okay.
it's not
And
that. I mean, we can assume it's 2.
Beltryn, what languages do you know?
I don't know what language, but we can assume.
Common,
Nope,
half-
Infernal and Common.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, none of you recognize the language underneath the elf.
Celestial,
Kind
maybe?
of weird that it doesn't follow the pattern, but it's probably.
Hey, can I, I didn't do a lot of religious study, but do I recognize Celestial even if I can't read it? Prayer books and such, maybe? Seen some stuff.
Well,
It's not
because I'm
language you recognize.
Infernal, I
Doesn't
might
look
have a
like
chance of
Celestial.
noticing it.
What's that?
Do I have any because of my Infernal knowledge, I may have a chance of identifying Celestial just because they're opposed but are related.
I don't think it's Celestial, though. We just don't
The
recognize.
human's
what
the
is
only
the-
one that has the dial.
Right.
Yeah, let's.
Well, we
let's
can
search the
assume it's
dial.
2.
Yeah, we can
The
assume it's
dial
2,
that
whatever
we can
language
set
it is.
Well, I think we pretty much understand what's going on here. That's creepy.
What's the dial?
Yeah,
Like,
we all look
closer.
closer at the dial.
What have we
The
gotten
dial,
into?
the dial has 4 slots on it, and you notice that you can shift them. And in very small print, it will, as you rotate the dial, in the language of Halfling, it says Halfling. In the language of weird, you're not sure what it is, and then Tiefling, or the number 1. The next one has the number 2, but the same race thing again. The next one says number 3. The next one says number 4, but it's all the same race things. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll set the first one to elf.
I've already thought about this more than Puckweudgi would have.
So you set the first one to elf,
Yeah.
and then what do you set the second dial to?
Mystery.
One of the unknown ones.
Okay, to the unknown one. Okay. Are you saying
Three
the third dial to what?
Halfling.
Halfling.
Okay.
The
And
third
the
was
fourth
the
one, the
Tiefling.
infernal.
No, the third was Tiefling.
That's what we're doing.
I thought
One
you said
elf.
Halfling.
2 unknown, 3 halfling, and 4 infernal.
All right.
And then you
So
said there's one more?
I guess. Well, here.
No,
here
it's just those 4. There's just
Okay.
the human statue. That's the 5th one.
Okay.
well, the
A little after you set it to all 4, a little orb comes out. So it's a flat surface, and then it flips, and a little orb's there. Looks like you can depress it. Do you want to?
I don't think we have a choice, really.
I'm gonna blow up.
This is magic stuff, Alagar. You take care of this.
Well, I'm not much of an arcane student. I just kind of work with nature magic, but I mean, I guess brace yourselves, and I'll push the button.
Oh, hi.
Push
There's
up the
a-
button.
and each of the statues start glowing. You notice a familiar faint red, faint blue, faint yellow, faint green colorations start going them, similar to the ones that you had when you put your hands on the stone.
This is
And
like
after a moment,
probably
you hear like what sounds like a very nice musical notes for a moment, and the back door just goes, and this dust falls off from it. And the door just opens. But rather than like opening forward or backwards, it slides down and then slides to the right.
All
And all
right.
this hot vaporous gas exhales from the doorway from the top. And it seems that you've made it through to that giant double door. Good thing you guys chose the right order there. If you had done 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe something else would happen. Or maybe if you did the wrong order. Who knows?
That's
Did,
good job there.
Does the statue of the elf look like me?
Looks very
Oh,
generic
that's
elf
cool.
features. Hard to say if you look like it or if it looks like you. It's vague
They
enough
all
where
look the same to me.
maybe. It's not a
Alright.
fat elf, so yes.
Okay.
And
All right,
so
let's-
this was the double
Alright.
door to the right or to the left that opened
Directly behind in the back of the chamber.
on the other side of the lava.
There was one door that was smaller to the right.
Okay. But so in front of us at the back of the chamber, but the lava was down the center of the chamber, right?
Oh, no, sorry. When I said yes earlier on the lava down the center, I mean, like, it's up above you, it's not on the ground. It's just giving you light. Somehow it's not dropping on you.
Oh boy, that's
what's in
much
the
more
little door
ominous.
to the right?
Glowing cracks, I guess.
Yeah.
What's in the little door to the
lava
right?
It's closed.
Fissure at the top does continue to go forward into past the double doors into the next area.
Should we check that other door?
Is it open?
The smaller one?
Would you like
It
to
is
go into
when I
that smaller
open
one?
it.
Yeah.
Did we even try and open it? We didn't even
try.
I don't
check
think
it out.
so. Let's look in here before we go in the main place.
Yeah.
Okay. So you go over to the little tiny door, and inside
How tiny is the door? I feel like it's
kind of looks.
smaller.
It's just a normal, medium-sized
Okay.
room door.
Okay.
As opposed to the
You're a
massive.
little man drinking knobs.
As you open up the door, kind of looks like a storage room. Kind of also looks like a sauna.
Ooh. Guess we can
But
come back
you
here.
step in, it's fairly large. It looks like a large storage room, but there's nothing really in it.
All right.
But you hear this weird,
Oh, I hate that.
and then it stops.
Is it dark in here? Can I see?
It isn't lit. It is kind of hard to see in here. If you have dark
It's not a
vision, then you
room.
may. Your perception being high enough, you see what looks like a glowing gem-like thing being carried by this tiny creature.
Is it red?
Tiny creature?
Is what red? The creature, the gem, what?
Yes.
The gem.
All of them.
Seems opalish.
I was gonna walk over there and
You also
snag
notice
it from
that
it.
it's walking towards a little tiny hole in the middle of the room where you obviously can see some lava flowing underneath. It's kind of glowing.
Uh-huh.
It's an incandescent glow, so you would have been able to notice it, but the room's dark. That would have been the only source of light. But it
I
seems to be
stepped
walking
in.
over towards it.
I step
dark
in and just
vision.
kind of slide my pitchfork over the opening. Just kind of lean against it.
Over the opening of the little pit thing that was going towards, and
Yeah.
it goes up next to it. Because the stone's bigger than it's kind of walking forward without its vision being blocked, and it goes and drops it, and kind of picks itself up off the ground, shakes off, looks up at you, featureless. It's like a tiny earth golem,
Automaton?
a very tiny earth golem.
Whoa.
Kind of walks over, grabs the gem again, and just it kind of walks over, and it's trying to get past you to put it inside the little hole.
I just kind of laugh at it. I'm just like, oh, this is.
Snatch the gem.
What do you want to take the gem?
So you grab the gem from it, and it starts hopping up at you. And another one comes out with another gem that looks just like it, and starts running, walking over towards what apparently is a different hole, as another hole has opened up. And it,
Okay, it
gets
looks
to
like
it,
they've got plenty of
and
gems.
it just looks
for the
over at
owners.
you guys, and goes, and the gem goes.
Down the hole.
Did the collectors say what gem wanted?
Boom.
All of you need to make a dexterity
Oh,
saving
boom.
throw.
Oh,
There was a boom. Oh, boom came. Oh no.
that's
Very
terrible. 15 for
Mine
me.
was terrible.
19.
It's a big
19 plus
big
7
five.
or 4.
Big 5.
So
for my own
success,
bad self.
success. Big
23.
5
Yeah.
for you. So failed.
I
What was
like
yours, Beltryn? What was your save?
19.
19. So success for you. So each of you succeed. You duck and cover in time as lava and hot rock spews forth, causing an explosion as this gem goes inside, and very much like a Mentos inside of a Coke bottle is what this does. And just spews out. You manage to duck and cover and get away from it quickly, and you do not take fire damage. Unfortunately for your other friend, Alexander, Sandy.
Can I attempt to, with my battle sense, can I attempt to, like, trip him or maneuver him to protect him?
You just trip him.
Just like
you just
that.
trip him, and his face goes right over the hole when it explodes.
I will say
No,
that
I mean,
yes,
like-
that's why he gets hit. because he doesn't make it away. So you see him like stuttering for a moment. You try to trip him, thinking that will save him. Instead, it just makes him lay flat, and it rolls and falls on top of the lava.
Son of a...
Sorry.
So you take.
Could I attempt to get in front of him?
No,
No, I've already done my things.
Reaction sort of thing. So.
Where's my D12s?
Uh-oh.
You take 14 points of fire damage.
Ooh, it sucks.
Rolling out of the way.
Burns. The trip apparently helped you a bit. I
You're
mean, it's better than
welcome.
36 points of fire damage, but yeah.
Okay, I don't think they're gonna miss that other gem. Let's just as you were.
Another little earth elemental comes into the room with another gem, and another hole opens up and starts running.
Run out
towards it.
of the room and
I
close the
kicked the
stupid
crap out of
door.
that elemental.
Door behind us.
And then you just hear.
The door.
What the heck is the point? What is that room? That is bizarre.
What do you want these gems for?
Can I snag that gem before I
you,
leave?
you still had that one gem you took from the other one earlier, and then you notice pounding on your legs with the tiniest little fist is that little earth elemental just like hopping up and just like patting against your
Just throw 'em
leg,
back in the
trying to
room.
get to
Drop
that
him in
gem.
the
Back
hole.
in the room.
We'll drop him in the hole. Little scrub.
This is like,
Let's close this
Yeah,
door.
we throw him back in the room.
Where are they coming from?
yeah, no, you
Where
close
are
the
they
door.
coming from?
Do you go through the double door now?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
First, though, I'm gonna look over at the big burn mark on Sandy's face and just be like, "Ooh, that's pretty bad, Mizaji." A little bit, and these little teeny fairies fly out of my sleeve and just start swirling around you, and you regain 8 points. You're healed for 8 points, and you get 3 temporary hit points.
Alright.
You know, you eat breakfast with a fellow for half a year and you have no idea.